She had no surgery. She had, I was just looking at her, and she said she was 79, or I think 79 years old. 79 years old. And I was like, wow, and when we were talking, she was telling me that she's like, I said, oh my God, the first thing that I looked at her was, I loved her hair. Her hair was very full, very flattering on her face. And we as women, we don't really compliment each other as much as we should, compliment each other instead of being envious of each other. And sometimes that comes a little bit, how do I say, some women just kind of look at you when you tell them something. So she was telling me that she didn't see herself as beautiful growing up. And then she showed me a picture when she was younger. So I said to her, you probably have a picture of you when you were younger. And she said, yes, I do. And I was like, why? It doesn't really matter how old you are, but why we cannot just stop thinking about our numbers, what number we are. I have stopped thinking about what number I am. I've stopped, Before, when I was younger, I used to do that. And now I'm just like, no, I don't do that anymore. I think it's because when I went through my journey of what I went through, and at one time I had lost all of my hair, my eyebrows, my lashes, and I had to just focus on my internal self. Who am I? Now I see myself in a different, where I used to be very vain, and I used to have to color my hair and get the new hairstyles and the new looks. And now I'm very simple, and yes, I do apply my makeup and all of this, but I just do it to put color back in my face, basically color back in my face, so I don't look so, I feel like sometimes I look a little pale. So I said, let me just add a little bit more warmth in my face. And as I'm looking at this woman, which she's not the only woman that I've seen age so beautifully, and I sit there, and then she was telling me, well, you haven't really looked at yourself. And I was like, no, sometimes I don't. She goes, and what made me want to make this video is that when you compliment someone, or this can be a man too, you look at a man,